Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video here we successfully complete our logout portions, right? So now in this video I'm going to discuss about that forget password option. So if you click as a forget password without loading that page, I have already designed this page, that is our /forget, right? And also after that we have to reset this password. So for the forget password, when you click as a put your appropriate email address, and after that if you click as a forget password, this password will be sent in our this mail, right? So I have already done this work. If you go to our Laravel project, into the Laravel project, so there is a controller, and for the forget password, that means that is a forget controller. So into the forget controller, it will be check it. If you get that appropriate email address, then that will be actually pass this data, that is pass that email as a token, and then it should be send this token to our this mail area, right? So I have already discussed about that things with you, and it should be display the one of the success message as a reset password mail sent to your email. Rather than it should be display this type of one of the message as invalid email. So now I want to work forward this password, and also it should be generated one of the token. So I have already checked it. So now I want to display that things with our React. So here I want to execute our this forget password option. So for the forget password also I have already declared one of the ID. If you go to the like here, it should be send one of the email, right? It should be send one of the email, that means here that is our email. So in our email here I have created one of the forget email. So into the forget email I have already created one of the view page as a mail and then forget, right? So that means in our view, so that is a view mail folder. Into the mail folder, that is our forget view. And here you can see friend, before I have already passed this click link, that is our local host as a 3000. So right now we are installing that React, and that is our port. So after that, that is actually the reset, right? And after that reset, there have also one of the token ID, that means the pin ID. So now I want to actually create this route. So if you want to create it, so in our React, so that is our header, right? So into the header I want to do that is our forget, and also I want to create another one. I simply paste it, so that will be as a reset. Okay, I name it as a reset because I have already passed that our route name. Our route name will be as a reset, and also that have one of the ID. Also we have to pass one of the ID. So now after that, that should be one of the ID. So I simply pass it. Okay, so now that should be one of the reset component. So I make it as a reset. So that is a reset component. I want to load this reset component. If you go here after this, I copy it and then I simply paste it. So that will be as a reset. Okay, reset. So that will be as a reset, and then in our component area I want to create another new file. And I just name it as a reset. Okay, reset.jsx. So that will be JSX. So I just simply created this page. So there is a component as a reset. So now here I also want to run the RCE, and then that is our class. Our class name will be as a reset, and here we will actually design our reset functionality, in particular that position. So now I want to add one of the h1 tag. So that is our reset. Okay, reset page. Okay, so I just simply add that as a reset page. Perfect. So now I want to do, so that is our reset. Now I want to work for our this forget. So I have already loaded that forget password, that means our forget components. The component area, that is our forget. So that is will be very easy. Only here we have to add one field. So like that is our email field. You can see that is email address. So first of all I want to put one of the name for this input field, and put that name and name it as a email. Okay, I make it as an email. And now that will be just like our logging. So from to the logging I want to copy everything actually. So that will be the same procedure. Like here also we have to bind this data. So that is our on change. So here we have to pass this data. So I copy that as a required, and then I copy total things from to this area. I have already discussed about that things with you. I copy it, and now in our forget, because here we have to also bind our this data, right? So now I want to pass it. So that will be field will be as a required on change event, and then this, and then set states our field as email. So also you have to add one of the state, because I didn't add it, right? So in the state area we have to pass this targeted value. So I simply add it, and also but I copy everything from our logging. Okay, from to the logging there is a state, I copy it, and then in our forget, so into the forget, after that component I load this states, and only that should be one as an email, and also I want to take another one as a message. So next video I also discuss about how can display the message. So that is the email and the message. Perfect. So that is the email I want to do and to pass it. So in our bind here, that is our state and our targeted value, whatever the things I will pass from our input field. So that is our targeted value. I take it in our this states area, right friend? So now I want to do, so that is our states, and now also we have to pass our forget password. So I have already checked it. If you go to our postman, it is the postman for the forget password. You can see that is actually our forget password, right? So there is only one field. If you perfectly get that appropriate email address, that means which email is already exist in our database, then it will be show that message as a reset password mail to your email, rather than it will be display our validation message. So that will be our URL, and that will be obviously one of the post method. So now from to the logging, I better copy it. Okay, I copy total things. So I copy total things from to this position, and also we have to declare one of the form submit, whatever actually choose. So now I copy it, and then now in our forget, so as I told you, that will be just like the same. Here I simply paste it. So also we have to now load this form as a method, as a form submit. That means there is also one of the form. You can see there is also one of the form. That is actually our form. So it is the form area. Now I want to call this as a on submit. Okay, on submit, and on submit will be our this one. So here I want to use it as a this dot, and then the form, and then submit, right? So that is our method. Perfect. So I simply added that things in our form method, and that is our form submit. So now that is actually our form submit, right? So I make it as a, this one is for the forget. Okay, forget form. Perfect. So now that is our email, and then also I pass that event as a prevent default. That means that will be executed without loading that page, and here only one field will be needed. So right now here we don't need this, and there is only one array. For the reasons I take it as a one. Okay, perfect. So now that is the one as email, I name it, and then our this states email, that means this email. So I simply pass it, that is our constant data. I take that things with this data. So I think friend, every line is very clear to you. I have already discussed everything with you, right? So now that is our XJS. So when you use that XJS, make that sure you have to load this XJS, right? So now I want to load it from to the logging. I have already done it, but I copy it, and then into the position I simply load that XJS. Okay, make that sure you load it. So in our XJS post, that will be as a post method, and then our method name I have already created as a forget password, right? So that is all that API I have already done in our Laravel. If you go to the Laravel API, you can see that is our forget password. So now I want to use this one. So that will be as a, I have already take this part in our base, that is base URL, and now only we need this one, right? So now I want to use it as a forget, that is a forget password. And if you go to our index.js, you can see I have already loaded out this base URL. So that is our base URL. So now everything is looking great. So that is our data, then the data response, and then here right now we don't need this, right? Because here I want to actually show some of the message later. So right now I want to simply remove it. Okay, I simply remove that things from here. And also there is a response here. Right now we don't need this. I simply remove it. Perfect. So that is our then, and then the cache. So it will be also display. I want to display that some of the console log right now. There is a console. Okay, console, and then console.log, and here I want to pass out this response. Okay, so I simply pass this response. First of all, I want to check it with the console log. Later we will actually add some of the custom message. So that is our post, and then the data, everything is looking great, and rather than it will be show this error. I hope friend everything is very clear to you, right? So that's all you have to do. So that is the states, and that is your submit form data method as a form submit, and that is our form submit, and that is our form, right? So now whatever the things you will put, automatically it will be get everything in here. So I have already checked it with the postman, so now it should be work. Now let's check this out. Click as a save all, and now first of all I want to refresh this page. Okay, I refresh it. Now go to home. So right now I'm not logging, right? Now we are able to access this logging page. Now I want to add that as a forget password. Click here. So I have first of all it should be check it in our database. If you go, so right now there is a 2 as a kazi@gmail.com and the udemy@gmail.com. So now if you want to put any inappropriate email address as a udemy, I just check it as a I just take it as 1 to something as a @gmail.com. And now first of all I want to check it. Click as inspect. So to the inspect area, I want to first of all check. Okay, that means here I have already displayed with the console log. With this console log, now I want to display or this response message, everything is working or not. Now go to that network. So to the network area, now if you click as a forget password. So now you can see it's showing as a forget password. Yes, you can see now that is display our message as invalid, email invalid. So that is the message I have already set up in Laravel. If you go to our that is a forget password, right? So if you go to our controller, that is a controller, and that is a forget controller. Into the forget controller, yes, you can see when this email and our requested email will be does not exist, then it will display this message as a email invalid. So that is the message is now visible. Okay, so now if you put your appropriate email address, that means which email address is already in your database. So I want to use this one as udemy@gmail.com. So that will be udemy @gmail.com. Okay, so that is appropriate. So when it should be as appropriate, so now it should be display out this message as a reset password mail sent to on your email. So this is the message should be now display. Now click it as a forget password. So now if you go there, okay, so here now it should be display. If everything okay, it should be display out this message. Yeah, you can see now it's perfectly display as a reset password mail sent to your email. That means right now if you go to our mail, and now yes, you can see there is a password reset link. Perfect. So if you now go open it, so it's now provided one of the password reset link, and also there is a pin code. So now if you click as a click here, yes, you can see now that is reset, and then that is actually display as this one, right? That means that is one of the specific code. So that is our URL. Everything is great, everything is working great for the forget password. That means right now we are able to successfully send this message to our mail. So it's now successfully get this mail, and a specific mail you can see that is udemy@gmail.com. that means from to the support I passed that email to this user email address. Everything is great. So now we have to first of all, better before complete our reset password option, I want to display all that message. That means custom message if you want to display it. So right now you can see this message is displayed in our console area. So now I want to display all that message. So how can display it better? To continue this process in our next video, I will show you that things with the live example. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.